Hello, Dental Team listeners. This is Kiera, and I hope you are just having an amazing day. I hope that things are going so well for you. I hope that things are just really, really, really incredible for you. I am so excited to be podcasting with you. I just truly, truly love and adore all of you. And I just think that the world of dentistry is such a great place for us to be a part of. And so today I just wanted to dive in. I wanted to give you guys some tips. I wanted to have some fun with you today. And a topic that comes up often is how do we honestly help our team have ownership and accountability? It's something I hear a lot on sales calls. It's things that I hear from clients of, Kiera, like, I just want my team to want to own this company. I want them to be accountable. I want them to feel like they own part of this. And so I wanted to just dig into this because the reality is there are a lot of ways to do this. And I just want to ask you, what would it be like if every team member in your practice actually took ownership? Like, what would it look like? So today, let's talk about how to make this happen. The reality is when we have accountability, there is better patient care. There's higher efficiency. We get stronger team engagement. We're able to have better profitability in the business. We're able to have a happier, more cohesive team. All these things are super, super powerful for you. And the reality is that these are going to be some effective strategies to help you create that culture of ownership in your practice. So you guys know us. We are the Dental A Team. We love what we do. We love being here with you. We love serving you. We love giving you tips and tricks to make your practice even better and easier. So that's what we're about. That's what we're here for. And we are so excited to have you here. The reality is we have coached hundreds of practices, thousands of team members, and helped them figure out exactly how to give this ownership feel, how to give accountability feels, how to be able to do these things within your practice. And I'm happy to share those things with you. We do work in person and virtually with practices. We work across the nation, and we do it in a fun and effective way. We're truly the experts in consulting, and it's something that I just love and obsess of working with clients. Today, I just want to do this quick, short, actionable episode with you guys so that way you guys could go implement them. I like it to be tactical, practical, having a good time. What do you say? I'm here for it, and I hope you're here for it. So step one to get this ownership and accountability is, number one, you want to have clear expectations and empower decision making. So something that we did just recently was we changed up job descriptions, and we were able to make it to where people knew exactly what their decision making power was. And I thought that that was something so just weird. I was like, do people really need to have this? And what I realized is they do. They need to know. They need to know what is it? Like, what can I make decisions on? And Britt and I talked a little bit about these 6 principles of how to make decisions of, like, number one is look into it, report it, and I'll decide what to do. Number 2 is look into it, report alternatives with pros and cons in your recommendation. Number 3 is look into it, let me know what you intend to do, but don't do it unless I say yes. Number 4 is look into it, let me know what you intend to do, and do it unless I say no. And 5 is take action, let me know what you did. 6 is take action, no further contact required. And what's interesting is when you start to give team members kind of even these levels, which one do you want them to do? How can they make it? What are the areas that they have control over to make decisions? And really empowering your team. That way it doesn't fall all back onto leaders. This really can help them start to feel a sense of ownership because now they know their department, they know the areas that they can actually influence and impact. Because otherwise it just becomes blaming, it becomes waiting, it becomes like, hey, we don't really know. And so what you've got to do is you've really got to make sure that there's clear defined roles. I notice the front office is often what I call like sloppy soup. Like, we don't know who's doing what, everybody's doing everything, and no one is actually accountable. Nobody actually can do things. They have no idea what they're doing. And so let's get out of that. Let's figure out what are the clear roles, what are the responsibilities, and what is the KPI or key performance indicator? What is the number that role is going to actually impact and have an effect over? That's really what we want to look into. We want to dive into that. That's going to help them out. Then within that, we help them also know what is your decision-making authority, and also who do you report to within that. What this now does is we've just set the rules of the game. Your team now knows, who do I talk to? What can I make decisions over? What my number is, what my job is. There's a lot less confusion. And I know this sounds like so cliche and like, but Kiera, that's really it. A lot of times the ownership just comes from a lack of clarity. It comes from a lack of, I don't even know what I need to do. This is where we're going to be able to get people super empowered, super on top of it, super on their A game, and helping them to really be able to make decisions. A lot of times people don't have ownership, not because they don't care, because they don't want to, but because they, honest to goodness, just don't know Like they feel they can't take the ownership. They feel they can't make the decisions. So I have really loved those 6 areas of how can I give feedback? So when Britt has a project or we're working on something new, so let's say we're rolling out a new project or we're hiring a new team member, I try hard to tell Britt, like, okay, this is a number 4. So look into it. Let me know what you intend to do and do it unless I say no. And when you're working with new team members and new leaders, sometimes they are going to be at this, like, look into it, report, and I'll figure out what to do. But that doesn't give a lot of ownership. That gives a lot of dictation and dictatorship rather than ownership. And so if you really, really want to have your practice flourish, help them know what the clear expectations are, what their role is, and then what their decision-making authority is. There's a practice that I watched do this really, really, really successfully well. And what's interesting is the owner doctor picks, like they're growing, they have multiple practices, multiple locations, and the owner doctor picks and says, like, this is where we're going to actually have the practice be. After that, the team members get to make all the rest of the decisions, and it's leadership and then the office managers. And I think what's really incredible about that is the rules of the game have been laid out, and then they're allowed to make those decisions. How much ownership do you think this practice has? It's insane. And they follow through and they're accountable because they feel that they actually can contribute. They feel like they can own this. And I think that's one of the biggest pieces to helping your teams have that. So that's number 1. So call to action on that is like, get your key responsibilities, figure out the KPIs, get clear job descriptions, and then help them know what the decision-making power is. How can they do this? And even start using those 6 steps. They really, really, really do help. It's been incredible to watch it work out. Step 2 is going to be making sure that they have measurable goals and accountability system. So what we're going to do is we've got job descriptions. It's defined. They know what their number is. But now, like, what are the goals? What are we even reaching for? And then how do we follow up on this? So Tiff and I were talking about this with a client, and it's interesting because when you actually have strong accountability within your practice, team members flourish. But if we don't have accountability, meaning we don't follow up if something's off track, we don't look into it and ask them like, hey, I noticed this. What is your plan to get this back on track? This is going to really struggle because A, our numbers are going to go down, and B, our accountability is really lacking. And it's wild because when you start to track your KPIs and we track them consistently, and then when they're off track, we figure out why and we get them back on track. Like, it's this whole tracking progress and having follow through to make sure things are actually moving forward. Otherwise, we just sit there. Otherwise, team members are just like, well, we track numbers for the sake of tracking numbers, but what does it really matter? Or we don't even track numbers. You're looking for trends, and we want to teach our team to look at these numbers, their KPIs, the numbers that they have. We want to teach them to use these numbers to be able to be levers. Britt and I talk about this often of how numbers are levers in a business. And once you know what your numbers are, you can actually then know, do I raise our production? Do we need to increase our diagnosis? Do we need to increase our case acceptance? Do we need to decrease our costs? Do we need to make more outbound calls? Like, what really needs to happen? And we utilize all those numbers to figure out exactly what we're doing with it. So it really becomes something of like tracking it on a scorecard, and all of our practices track it. We have team members tracking this, and then we teach leaders how to follow through with accountability. And accountability is really just being consistent in a lot of ways and empowering them like, hey, this number's off track. What's your game plan? What's your plan for it? And this way we can constantly review it. So we recommend tracking your numbers weekly and then reviewing them in depth monthly is what we do with a lot of our offices to make sure that our numbers are moving forward, that things are tracking in a really good way. This is what it's going to be. And what's crazy is people who start using KPI trackers, people who start tracking their numbers with their team is going to be an area where they actually, like, truly, they start hitting numbers that they've never hit. And they're like, wow, just as tracking numbers, instantly we start to become more profitable. Instantly we start to have more production on the schedule. Why? Because we're focused on it. And what you focus on is what you're going to achieve. So if we're focusing on these numbers, you better believe they're going to start to increase. We then start to change systems and implement other pieces based on what the numbers are telling us. Otherwise, we're not going to change things. So this is where it's super powerful and super fun because now you've got numbers. You've got all these different pieces that are going to impact it and influence it that are really, truly going to help you and your team thrive. So really building up a simple tracking system to track those KPIs weekly and monthly is going to exponentially help you. And then number 3, when I think about ownership, like, I don't know how to say this in a polite way, so I'll just say it. I also think for owners, realizing that your team, you are still the owner, and team members might not take as much ownership. And that's not to say there's anything wrong. So I think also being like realistic with what's going on with it, but then also really truly highlighting those who take ownership. So within our company, we have our team read extreme ownership. We have pens. I'm not even joking. I have it right here. I saw it. Like literally extreme ownership. We have pens. There we go. Sorry. Extreme ownership. And we share it with our team and we remind them that we want them to have extreme ownership. I want them to take ownership of their position. I want our leaders to take ownership of their departments within the realms. Remember, we put the bumper lanes there of what are the realms and what can they do. And then I want them to truly take ownership of their practice. I want to constantly highlight team members that are taking ownership. So we put that in our Friday 5 shout outs. We put that in our core value shout outs. I put that in highlights in the team chat of celebrating and encouraging when people are taking ownership. And then if someone's not, having that honest conversation with them of, hey, this is what I'm expecting. What's going on? What are the hurdles? What are the stumbling blocks? And how can we overcome those together? That way we can truly own our business. And I think when I realized, like, bottom line is a lot of team members may never care about the business as much as I do. And that's okay. I really hope you heard that. That's okay. But there will also be a lot of team members who do care about the business like you do. They care about it maybe even more than you do. And that's really beautiful. And so hold on to those ones who are truly incredible and they own all their positions. And then also be okay when people aren't necessarily that way. They don't necessarily care about it as much as you do. That's also okay. But we want to create a culture of ownership. We want to create a culture of accountability and follow through. We want to create a culture where we're following through on numbers and KPIs. And that's something that we're super, super, super paramount about doing. This is going to help you really have it. And it's wild because when I watch offices highlight people and shout people out, and I watch it within our team and I watch it within other teams, people start to follow through on that. We had an ownership award all last year, and it was really fun to see who was winning ownership and who was the person who was taking this on and who was getting those MVP awards. And what's wild is you will see an increased morale, you'll see an increase in culture, and you'll see an increase in ownership being taken in your practice. So whatever you need to do to create a culture and recognition of that, I would recommend highly implementing that. So this was a quick down and dirty episode with you of these quick actionable items for you of number one, creating clear expectations and job descriptions, making sure that we really are super crystal clear and empower that decision-making ability. Then after that, we want to make sure we've got tracking our KPIs with accountability and follow through. So we don't just track for tracking, we track with actual follow through updates, making sure we're getting the results that we're looking for. And lastly, finding a way for us to celebrate those who are taking great ownership within our practice and our company, really truly empowering them, giving them the praise, giving them the recognition, and teaching our team that this is the culture that we want. Giving them, like I said, the reading opportunities, different opportunities, letting them know this is the culture that we want to have. We want extreme ownership. We want to have our team taking ownership. I want you to feel like this is your practice because it is. So if this is your practice, what do you want to do? How do we want to behave? What are the core values we want to be living by? And really empowering your leadership team to influence and push that forward for you. The reality is this is going to be a way to help you increase ownership and accountability within your practice. And it seems so simple, but just because it's simple and easy does not mean that it's easy to execute on. These things take offices time. It takes change. It takes change to shift a culture. It takes change to implement ownership and accountability. And so really taking that on and committing to that, you are going to be so much happier in your practice. So with that, I honestly believe that if you want to build this high performing team with true accountability, ownership, really getting them to take it on, DM us. We're here to help you. This is what we do day in and day out. I would love to help you. Send us a message on Instagram or check out our website. We have a lot of leadership tips within our newsletter, so be sure to join our newsletter. Tons of free resources for you. And if you're like, hey, I want to go to the next level, I want you to help our team, I want you to be able to do this, reach out. This is where we're able to help you get ownership and accountability within your practice. We have these conversations with your office manager, so you don't have to. We have these conversations with team members, so you don't have to. And it becomes something where we really can grow these teams to have high accountability, high ownership, and being able to have that culture within your practice. So reach out. This is truly what the Dental Aid team does. This is what we're about. This is what we love to do. We are truly the best in the business at doing this. And I know that if you implement these things, you are going to see a very different practice. You're going to see so many great things happen that you will be shocked and so happy. And with that, guys, always, 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 always make sure that the culture that you want is the culture that you're creating. You as leaders are the ones who are creating the culture. So make sure it's the culture that you want. And as always, thanks for listening. I'll catch you next time on the Dental Aid Team podcast.